Well, hello everybody. How you all doing? Oh man, I'm off to a big start tonight. For me, this is big. 9 or 10 guys here already, and glad to see you guys chatting it up in the chat room. And I think I've said hello to most of you, but let's go over and see who's here. I figured a lot of people would probably be on their way to spin up, but I guess most people aren't leaving till tomorrow. Pardon me. Exploration Obsession. How you doing? Sean Crowley, how are you? Craig, Mad Kiwi, good to see you. Tomas, thank you. And along with all your fellow human friends. Mike B, how you doing? Glad you stopped by. And I see you've been discussing the name that this community has given to my monkey over there. Decided to call him Spank, as in Spank the monkey. I didn't do that. I think that was Spike that came up with that one. Sometimes I call him Spike the monkey, but and who else? Paduga, how you doing? I didn't see you there. Joe C, hello, how are you? And Mad Kiwi, Craig from Down Under, good to see you. Steve Carpenter, how are you doing, buddy? Good to see you. And as usual, I sent out a whole bunch of emails with invitations for people to come and join me here on the panel and help me pass the time. But as usual, I'm here all by myself. Nobody wants to join in, not yet. And that's okay. So Any of you guys? Steve, you're going to spin up, aren't you? I think you are. This is like, when you're on these live streams and looking over at a monitor that I have on my other screen there, the delay is exactly 10 seconds. So I ask a question, and it's like communicating with somebody on the moon. And whoa, speaking of the devil, he's here to answer the question in person. So without further ado, Steve, I wouldn't have recognized you if it didn't say Steve. It's the first time I've ever seen you without a hat on.
This is the third time you said that, but I got a haircut, so.
It wasn't me that said that. I mean, I may be old, but I remember things. Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
Good. I had to go out and get a haircut, so they didn't charge me for overweight charges boarding the flight.
Oh, you're leaving. What time's your flight?
Not till like 11:30 tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay. And let's see. Yeah, you're a good ways from there. I keep thinking Texas, California is like right now. It's like, but you're probably as far from there as I'm 1,000 miles from Austin here in Florida.
Yeah, it's a 3.5 hour flight. I'll be there. Unfortunately, Frontier Airlines last year, it was great because I landed like at right around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Last year I went. This year it doesn't land until almost 4:30, 4:40 in the afternoon on Friday. Wonderful wonderful traffic to contend with to head back into Austin.
Oh yeah, Friday afternoon. What could be rush hour about that from the airport to Austin? So you'll get there just in time for spin up to be over.
Yeah.
On Sunday. And did you watch Art's How to Pack video? Okay.
In fact, I posted on there. I was kind of laughing because I felt sorry for poor Rodney Bell. He packed everything up and had everything fully charged. And we were on Claude's live stream. And we were talking about preparing for it on the live stream I've got my batteries down. In fact, I was on the live stream and I had my drone on the floor here, just taking down the last little bit to get it down to 25%. That's where I like to travel out at. And poor Rodney goes, "You don't have your batteries fully charged? I want to fly as soon as I get there." I'm going, no, Rodney, batteries taken down.
Yeah.
So that poor guy was just not knowing what to do with himself. So he left. Unfortunately, he had to leave the stream in order to go outside and start burning those batteries back down.
Yeah. If you want to get them down in a hurry, the only way to do that is to fly.
Yeah.
Because if they're just going to slow discharge themselves after 5. You could wait 5 days and wait another couple of days for it to drain down. But no, I've had to do that. I've had to knock a battery down and go out and actually fly. Fly. Yeah. Well, good. Hey, listen, I got somebody sitting in there. Conrad. You remember Conrad?
Carlos?
Oh yeah, Carlos.
What's up?
Hey, Carlos, how you doing? I'm just pulling your.
Who's that guy in the middle there?
I think it's Steve Carpenter. Hold on.
Hello, Carlos.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, we don't recognize him without his hat on, though, do we?
It's true. He looks younger without the hat.
Yeah, he does, man. He looks like a kid. How old are you, Steve? 28, 30?
66.
66. So you're just a youngster then.
Yes. Unfortunately, you've got a couple of years on me.
Why? Is there anybody that's older than me in this community? Anybody? I mean, I'll take just one person. I don't care. Is there anybody? There's got to be somebody.
I'm thinking no.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
And
the question is, are there people that look older than you? That
Well, yeah,
Sure.
that's for sure. But
there's a lot of them that look older.
oh yeah, there's a lot of them that are 20 years younger than me that look older than me. But that's
well,
what are you going to do? But now it's scary to me. Now I went to a model airplane club meeting last night. We have a model air, and I don't know if you guys know what most of these model airplane clubs are like, but they bring a whole new image to the term geezer, if you know what I mean. These guys are old guys, and I go there. I feel like a young man, but these guys are so embedded in the past. They're still living in the 60s when it comes to RC. They're still flying their glow fuel powered models, their ugly sticks, and they go out to the field, all retired. A lot of them are veterans. They go out there every day. They go out to the club field and they sit around and they just fly these same old airplanes. Now a few of them have gotten into electric, but when I come out there with my drone, they don't even want to have anything to do with me. I'm, as far as they're concerned, I'm some young whippersnapper that's just getting in their way, And I feel like an outcast in that club because of that. And that's one of the reasons why, and I enjoy going out to fly. So that's why I'm going to start building a few airplanes to fly. So I don't have to, you can't fly that thing here on the main runway. You got to go out there 30 miles to, the South 40 away from us. It's turbo. And they do the same thing with helicopter pilots, because they claim that they're flying. They want to fly back and forth. They want to fly around, and anything that's just kind of hanging there is going to be in the way. Right. So I don't know if any of you have ever seen what they call 3D airplane flying, where they just hang on the prop and spin around and do all. Well, some of the guys do that, and I'm waiting for one of them to tell me what's the difference. Why is that any less in the way? Smack in the middle of the runway.
Yeah, exactly.
My drone might be smacking, but they're very old school guys. So last night at the meeting, the subject of the FAA comes up because we've got a model airplane field that's a designated AMA field. It's not. It's in Class G airs. It's out of the way of everything. There's no airports, no nothing. It's out there in the middle. And the FAA has just come out with a notice for the model airplane community that at no time, and they said in controlled airspace, can a model airplane now fly over 400 feet. Now, a 400-foot limit for, let's say, a turbine-powered 250-mile-an-hour jet is ridiculous. When I used to fly these jets, we used to go 2,000-3,000 feet on some of these big split S's and these big loops, climb straight up almost out of sight,
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of big jet meets in this country, and they're actually held at airports, and the airports are closed for the events. And the FAA specifically said with this 400-foot rule, there will be absolutely no exceptions and no waivers. So, I mean, that's going to be pretty much the end of a lot of the RC airplane hobby. And it's all part of this grabbing up or clamping down for drone delivery. Right. You're absolutely right, Carlos.
I've been saying that the minute I heard that they're going to do drones, that's going to kill the hobby.
Yeah. So now out there in the middle of nowhere in a dump where our field is. So I stood up at the meeting and I said, I think that I said I read that, and I think they were very nebulous about what they meant by controlled airspace. So right away, somebody jumps up. Well, they mean, airports. I said, well, I said they just in their regulating of the drone industry, of the 400-foot ceiling is absolute. There is no only in controlled airspace. As far as the FAA is concerned, they don't care where you fly, 400 feet. Am I right about that?
Makes sense. Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, I mean, wherever you fly, whether it's out in the middle of the desert, the FAA said, and all the rules say, you cannot fly a drone over 400 feet, period. End of story. The only thing else they tell you is where you can't fly it. But in all cases, they say 400 feet. And then, of course, there's the building height and all that, which used to be you could fly 400 feet over anything that you're closer than 400 feet to. But some people are, even with the last ruling at the FAA saying that's not valid anymore. So
Part 107.
Yeah. And that's another thing so right away I said, I know that's what you think controlled airspace is to this guy. And then he said, now keep in mind that I don't go to too many club meetings, and most of the people in the club don't know me, okay, because I don't hang out with them. But I said, I think you have to be very careful, because by definition, any airspace in this country that's above the ground is under the jurisdiction of the FAA. All airspace.
Our government owns the air.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
All airspace is under the jurisdiction of the FAA, except maybe the airspace inside your house. But once you walk outside, whatever gizmo vehicle or whatever, when you take off and you're 1 inch above the ground, you are now when you jump up and down, you're jumping up and down in and out of government-owned or controlled airspace. Now, whether they designate it as controlled airspace or whether it's just airspace that they have the option to regulate, that's the way they put things out there is usually very nebulous. They use terms that can be interpreted 12 different ways. So I'm trying to tell these guys, because what they said is, well, everybody here needs to email their senators and their congressmen, and we're going to do this. And I'm saying to myself, that doesn't mean anything. They got their minds made up. They're going to do what they're going to do. The lobby for the commercial use of all this airspace is huge, powerful, rich, and the model airplane group, even the AMA, which is a fairly large group, but nothing in comparison to the interests of Amazon,
business, money,
and UPS, and everybody else that wants to, and all of these taxi companies that want to have autonomous air taxis, and everybody else that's planning on using that airspace. The AMA is a bunch of good old boys that fly toy airplanes, and the government screwed them over last year with the FAA Reauthorization Act and did not renew their exemption that they had. And now the guys at the meeting said to me, he turns around and he said to me, "You don't know what you're talking about."
Well, I just put a link in here, Mitch, and I haven't listened to the whole thing. The FAA drone committee just held a conference this morning, and Chris had it posted up there. I just posted the link that everybody can go in there and rewatch the committee hearing.
Oh.
And I only listened part of it. So part of it is what you're talking about. Another part is a senator in Utah that just initiated a bill just a couple of days ago that will not allow you to fly under 200 feet under private property.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. But the story was that this guy looks at me and he says, "You don't know what you're talking about." And, and I said to him, well, I said, it all depends how you interpret what they said. Well, what they said is very clear. I said, well, it wasn't clear to me. Well, you don't know anything. I'm a private pilot, he says. He says, I'm a private pilot. So I said to him, well, I'm a commercial pilot with it, and I shouldn't have said that because it just pissed me off. I mean, we in the drone community have been bombarded with this crap for years. We know more about what the government's up to. Here, the first time they come after the model airplane guys with something, this private pilot knows it all. And he's trying to embarrass me at this meeting. And I just said, look, not only am I a commercial pilot, instrument rated, flight instructor, multi-engine rated, but I'm also a commercial 107 drone pilot. And I know what I'm talking about. And I left. I just walked out.
Did he have this dumb look on his face?
I don't know. I just walked out. They didn't have the air conditioning on in there. It was 100 degrees, very uncomfortable. And I just said, I haven't been to one of these meetings in a year. I shouldn't have come to this one. Yeah. But what's happening is that the AMA is not representing the hobby at these meetings. Yeah. They weren't even present, or I don't even think they were invited to some of the meetings that you put the link up to, these commercial meetings.
Well, this is the FAA committee hearing. This is their hearing. And yes, you still can write into them and everything. But exactly what you're saying, the first hearing they had at Congress, I remember looking at the whole table of people being represented there, and there was no one from the AMA there. There were other representation for other entities, and surprisingly, one of them was from DJI.
All the companies, they have a council, an association of some sort of commercial drone users, and they had very nice looking woman represented. I saw some videos of the meeting as well. Maybe it's the link that you put in there. Hey, let me take a second, and we got a bunch of people popping in here, which just flatters me no end. Must be you, Steve. Thanks, and Carlos. Thanks for being here because it attracts people and keeps me from scaring them.
That's good-looking younger guys that brought them in.
Yeah, I know. I know. So let's see who we got. Rick Halber. Hey, Rick, how you doing? Hey, Rick, you and I are going to be conspicuous by our absence at Spin Up. That's all I can say. I hope everybody runs around there at Spin Up and says, "Where's Mitch? Where's Rick?" Anyway, I hope you're feeling better. I heard you're a little under the weather. And Bill Thomas, hey guy, how you doing? Is here. Bill Thomas, Swift Fox FPV is conspicuous by the fact that he is the only non-moderator in the crew. So he has the name FPV in there. Obviously his first time at this free-for-all. So we'll go ahead and turn him blue like the rest of us. So thanks for coming in, Swift Fox. Welcome. And I still got some room in the on the panel here. We got three of us, and if nobody who I sent links to wants to come in a few minutes, I'll maybe just put the link up in the chat and see what happens.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? So at any rate, what have you been up to, Carlos?
I was going to go through the list. You have AKA the Drone Ranger, Mr. Crowley's here. Love My Drones is here. Hadley's here. Coast to Coast Drones is here. Matt Kiwi. I don't know if you said hello to all these people yet.
I said hello to some of them, and then we got talking. I see, here's Gary. Bran Ariels is here, and Daddy of 13. How you doing, my friend?
That's right. Daddy's here.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm doing good, but you know what? You're talking about all this. Now, what will we do? Will we all stop buying from Amazon and protest and tell 10 other people to protest? And
we're not going to. We can't do anything except obey the rules.
I think eventually we're not going to be able to fly that much.
Well, I think we will. We will. We'll have our places to fly. And look, I've been in the model airplane hobby for over 50 years. Okay. And with model airplanes, you don't have any place to fly. You have a club, and a club has a field, and that's where you fly. Because you can't just take these things down to a parking lot. These are 100, 150 mile an hour things. Some of them are huge. Some of them are jet powered. They're not, I'm not talking about these little foamy park flyer things. You need
No,
a
I know.
facility to fly these things. So it's always been an issue, and I'm used to that. I'm used to having to go to a place to fly. Now that sucks for drones, just like it sucks for me to have to keep flying my drones at the club flying field because it's boring. There's no pretty scenery out there or anything like that. But I think that what's going to happen is we're going to follow suit with all the other countries that are going to require you to have some kind of a license to do what we're doing. The people are doing now without a license. In Canada, you can't do anything unless you take the tests. Right. Australia, I think, same thing. I mean, I'm talking about as a hobbyist. I'm not talking about as a commercial drone pilot, but I have a funny feeling.
We're supposed to be coming up to take a test even for a hobbyist, according to the last, rules that came out. They were going to be posting to take a test. There was going to be supposedly an online test, and that's come and gone.
Which means also a 14-year-old can take that test, right?
Well, except that there's an age limit, and you're going to have to get. I think you have to be over 14 to fly.
That's what I mean. So
yeah,
you can actually Google the answers. So that's not much of a test.
Well, but it's just the first step. It's the.
I think they're taking attendance personally.
Yeah, and you know what? If we want to fly these things, we're going to have to play the game, just like we played a game driving a car. You want to drive a car? You got to get a license. Got to buy insurance.
What's really interesting is the people retaking their Part 107. The amount of drop off. It's dropped by almost 50%. I was online with a private chat, Jim and I, Boyd from Above and Beyond, and we were both looking. He was looking on the FAA site for Florida, and I was looking for the statistics of where it was before and after for the Los Angeles, Orange County areas. It's dropped by over 50%.
You mean that the people who had them didn't renew them?
Right. Correct.
Well,
now, question, is that oversaturation because of people got it to do roof inspections? And
yeah, exactly. Just like me. I went and got mine. Mine's coming up for renewal. So it's been almost 2 years since I got mine. And when I got mine, there wasn't a drone pilot, 6 drone pilots for every 1 real estate agent. Right. We all thought, hey, maybe we make a few bucks with this while we're having fun. Well, the jobs aren't there.
Right.
The jobs aren't there. It's just, and then you got this drone base, you know who they are. Yeah. You get these ridiculous, I signed up with them and I get the most ridiculous requests from them. I mentioned one last week. We have a job in your area. Here's the address. So-and-so wants 13 photographs of this property from these different angles. You cannot tell the residents of this property. They cannot know that you're taking these pictures.
What, are you spying?
Well, evidently it might be a landlord trying to get some dirt. But this thing is smack right next to the airport. In an airport that doesn't have Lance active yet. So in order to legally fly this job, I would have to apply for a waiver and wait 45 to 90 days to get turned down, which is what would happen anyway. And for all of this work, this thing had to be done by the weekend, and they were willing to pay $50.
Ooh, that might cover part of your gas.
$50 to go out there and spy on somebody, and somebody who probably has a shotgun. So I said, no. I figure if I turn enough of these things down, they'll leave me alone,
Wow.
Hey, Jody, Drone Shots, how you doing?
Yeah, he was just posting in there. They say it'll be $2.5 million, $2.5 million in drone jobs, and that's probably true. It'll probably be a lot more. And a lot of it is like Mitch was just saying. A lot of people went and got their 107. What a lot of people are going to find out, you're going to need your 107 to continue flying.
I agree. I'm keeping my 107. I'm going to go take the test because I know that when it all distills out, you're going to have to be a real licensed pilot. Just
Yeah.
look, I'm a licensed pilot
You
flyer.
mean even as a hobbyist?
Yep. You're going to have just like, is there such a thing as a car hobbyist? Somebody who can drive a car as a recreational driver and not need a license? No.
Sure, all the people driving without licenses.
Right. Well, and that's the same thing that's going to happen with drones. And the next thing they're going to mandate insurance. We're going to have to carry $1 million worth of liability insurance. So when we fall on somebody's head, no, this is coming. This has to come. It happens with everything. You know, if something is small and obscure, the government doesn't get involved. But the drones and they're not. It's not even all about drones anymore. It's UAS, unmanned aerial systems, and the model airplane guys don't realize that a model airplane is a UAS. They don't get it. They don't. When they see these rules for UAS, they think that somehow model airplanes, radio controlled airplanes, don't apply. But they are. They're the same thing. I don't know. I'm just going to keep. Look, I'd worry about it more if I was 20 years old than I would at my age. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'll find some place to fly him. Carlos, you'll find some place to fly him.
Until they tell me not to.
The one thing I think we still can do, and once I get some more information, because I sat on the panel for the tort drone law, and that's where it started out to be a 40, 80-page document that finally got down to 8, 9 pages. And right before it was supposed to go to the convention, they wanted to pull it. Well, according, I guess, to the tort drone laws, well, not just the tort drone laws, but the laws for presenting to the convention, once it's agendized, you have to proceed no matter what. So I haven't heard if it passed or failed with what they wanted to do. And that started off with, the same thing of the 200-foot restriction of flying over private residence and private property. And now this representative in Utah has this new one. I have it. I don't have it handy here, but it was the FAA's posting to the original law that they were trying to get through, saying it's going to cause too many problems, putting a restriction of 200 feet. Number one, now do I say I own 200 feet above my house? Which then you're talking about property and which states and where it's going to be, saying I own it above. I mean, the legal ramifications is just going to boil over. I think we have a chance still with that. Because if it goes through where they're talking about, it'll be under 400 feet for us, but above the 400 to 500 feet is going to be the commercial drone, highway.
Yeah.
But you still have to land and you still have to take off. So
it's going to be.
Are they going to be delivering to private homes, or it's going to be a central one area? Like I don't understand.
They're talking about delivering pizzas to your front door.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, this is where it's headed.
And this is going to be, well, let's say a place that has 4 seasons. They're going to have winter drone deliveries?
I don't know. We'll see. I personally think it's going to be a lot more difficult than they're making it out to be.
And then we have 30 to 50 mile an hour winds today, Gus. They're going to do it then.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they're going to find it's not as simple and straightforward as they think.
All drone pilots should not use that service. And on top of that, they should all buy like 16-pound bowling balls just to make it difficult.
Oh man! Oh god!
It's what they own even the radio waves. I can't.
They've always regulated the FCC has always regulated the radio waves. The government is into everything,
and put a meter in your nose to see how much air you're breathing a day, and maybe limit that.
Well, give them a chance, and they'll figure out a way to do that.
Crazy.
Yeah, but it is what it is, and we still have probably the best place to live in the world, or one of them. So we just got to keep them from screwing it up anymore, and that's where people have to pay attention to politics. But that's another story.
Yeah,
that's another bad state of affairs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we won't talk about that here. That's all I hear about all day when I watch news and everything is politics. It gets so crazy. Get sick of it.
Once I get my hands on the documents, I'll get them posted out. As I did with the tort drone law. I just haven't heard back from that. And then this new representative in Utah, because that's one I think we still have a fighting chance, because even the FAA is against it.
Okay. Well, let's change the subject a little bit. Now, I don't want to depress everybody off of my stream by continuing to talk. So I'm going to talk about something that happened to me.
Pause 1 second, Mitch. I just wanted to hop in here real quick because I've got to go. I've got to get packing and I got to go pick up stuff. So
And write those last contracts, right? Cement.
Yeah. Well, listen, you have a thanks for coming in and have a great time at Spin Up, and say hello to everybody for me, and tell them that instead of going to Spin Up, I bought a bunch of shit, DJI FPV goggles and a new radio and a few drones.
Are you gonna just do a quick? Are you gonna go meet up with Dan DroneWorks with his free fly-in?
Now, I didn't get a chance to find out about. I mean, I saw the video, but I haven't had a chance to watch that video he posted yet. What's he do? When is he doing that?
I don't remember the exact date.
Okay, well, that's like 2.5 hours from me.
It's this Sunday or next Sunday. I forget.
Oh, okay. I'll look at it. I doubt if I will. It's quite a little trek over to the other side of the state. My daughter, normally when I go over there, I visit. I justify it by saying, I'll go fly a little and then visit my daughter. But they're going to be in San Diego all weekend, so they won't be over there. So it'd be silly for me to make a drive over there. They had to go to San Diego for something. Some kind of she's in a she's a public relations. She's got a public relations company. They're having some big convention or something out there. So she's gonna be gone till Monday. So no sense me going this weekend. Maybe next weekend. But
I'm not sure. Well, somebody just posted in here. I think this Sunday.
Sunday.
This Sunday it is. So.
Well, this Sunday, the weather's going to suck.
Is it?
Because there's a big tropical thing developing over Mexico heading right this way or heading north of us. So I'm afraid that Sunday is going to be not a drone. Well, we'll see. I'll take a look. I'll take a look at the
Steve, take some videos and post.
So, all right, Rick Halber. Rick Halber said to send him a link and he'll come in. So
good.
All right, I'm gonna just post a link in the chat here. So real quick, let me say goodbye to Steve. You leaving now, Steve?
Yeah, sir. Thanks for the invite. Take care.
Fun, be safe.
Good to see everybody, and I'll looking forward to those that do make it to Spin Up. Seeing you there.
Keep the head.
All right.
Take
the rest of the day. Take the rest of the day off, Rick.
What's that?
Take the rest of the day off.
Yeah, I wish.
See you, buddy.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Take care. All right, Carlos, this is you and me. Let me put a link up here. But at any rate, I did want to tell a little story.
Tell your story.
So let me get the link. Where is it?
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
Hey, Mitch, while you're doing that, is there a way? Remember on Google Hangouts, we would be able to stay on and talk, but not live. Can you do that in StreamYard?
Yeah, if I say end broadcast and you're still there, we can continue.
Maybe we can do that tonight, just for like 2 or 3 minutes. So I can brain. All right. Thank you.
Anyway, I crashed and lost my little Beta FPV
again
85X. No, this time it's swimming with the fishes.
Ooh.
And it doesn't really break my heart. It's the first drone I've ever really lost, but and it was my least favorite drone because there's always been something wrong with that drone, which is why I lost it in the first place. It just falls out of the sky. I mean, it does weird things, and I tried everything. I don't know if it was a bad ESC or a bad controller, but I thought I maybe had it, working right. So I took it out right out here in my community in front of the house and took it off. And and flew it around. And I got the goggles video of this. So I want to go over the flight with you guys. You can see how ridiculous this was. So
I didn't realize you live next to water. Is it swimming in somebody's pool?
No, it's a canal. We have drainage canals. I mean, you'd have to, if I wanted to hit the canal, it would be hard to do. You know what I mean? If I was on purpose, aiming for the canal, I probably wouldn't put it in the water. But and we'll talk about what happens after it went in the water. But let me go over to here and make myself a little bigger.
Were you saying it wasn't responding to your sticks?
No, I'll show you. You'll see what it did. So anyway, this thing has never really flown, never really flown right. Wait a minute. This isn't the one. This isn't the video I'm looking for.
It's a nice picture. Good color.
Wait a minute. Yeah, but this isn't the video. I don't think. No, this isn't the video. I got the wrong one. I thought this was it here. Let me see. Hold on a second. No. Where is it? Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Okay. Sorry, guys. So that's where I armed it and it went into 200 milliwatt mode. And you see, I'm in the acro mode there.
Yeah.
And the thing, it just is all over the place. You know, here I am banging into the street, and I think I'm a better pilot than that. Meanwhile, I got it up there, and then I flew it around a while here, and you see that that it is flying around. You see the canal back there? See it behind the house?
Yeah. And you're down this street here?
Yeah, that's my house right there in the corner. I'm sitting right up in the front driveway, and this is a little retired community, manufactured homes, nothing fancy, but it's not bad.
Wow, you close to the highway too.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open, and I enjoy a couple of big lakes in here. I enjoy living here. It's relatively inexpensive place for me to live because which allows me to have some money to buy toys with. So at any rate, there, I don't know if you can see me sitting in the driveway there, but I lived in that gray house on the corner.
No split S's, no roll.
No, I was just trying because it felt really squirrely. It felt really funny. So I didn't do anything. Then I finally, coming up the road here, said, okay, let me try a split S. And that's when the fun started. So I was just flying around, and it seemed to be doing okay.
Good, yeah. I
didn't want to get too far away or out over the trees or anything like that. I'm trying to keep it in fairly close. And then I said, well, I can start to do some air. And that's when I got in trouble with this stupid thing the last time. So I go up here and I roll it over and I come down and it falls out off to the side. See? So I give it a bunch of throttle and it levels out and it shoots up in the air. And now I'm starting to get up into the stratosphere here with this thing. and I said, well, I better lower the throttle a little bit to come down. So I lower the throttle, boom, off it goes again. See, it just flips over. So I level it off again. And I'm just trying to get it down. And as soon as I lower the throttle down below half, it crashed into the roof. And so I gave it throttle again. Now I'm back up at 300 feet and down we come. And I'm just trying to get it down. And right there, it just goes off to the side and boom, there it went right into the water. And it was totally out of, and what I had done right about here, let me find my mouse here somewhere. Let me show you something here.
Is Rick backstage? He's looking. He's looking.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Okay, let me bring him in here. I'll pause that a second and bring.
Hey, popcorn, Rick.
How you doing, buddy?
No popcorn or soda, nothing.
How you doing, man?
Good evening,
Fine,
sir.
how you doing?
Good. So you got the hat on tonight.
Oh.
So you and I will be, like I say, we'll be conspicuous by our absence at Spin Up.
Yeah. I wish I was going, but just can't do it.
Did you go last year?
No. Actually, I bought 2 tickets the days opened up. They were selling them, and I just physically I can't do it.
I'm sorry to hear that, but
But I'd love to be there.
it's a lot. It's a lot of work for a one-day event.
Yeah, it is.
I would like to see him do a 2-day event.
Weekend at least.
At least
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole weekend. You come in Friday and you have an event Friday night, a formal thing, like a dinner for everybody, and then you do all day Saturday and maybe something Sunday morning, and then because to
And
travel,
lunch.
by the time you have, $300-400 for the hotel, $300-400 for the plane ticket, couple $100 for the you're starting out at $1,000 and go from there.
So what is it, a 4-hour or 8-hour event?
10 to 4, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think it goes like 9 to 4, something like that.
Yeah, and I realize that in these events, it's not just a formal event. It's
Yeah,
all,
they have a lot of stuff going before
Yeah.
on Friday night. They have stuff going Sunday. It just depends on who wants to do what. And if I do it, I would go in there and get there Friday morning and then plan on not leaving till Monday.
yeah, that's the way to do it. Then you get a chance to fly with the guys. But there'll be cliques and there'll be groups of guys going here and going there, and everybody will have their camera, their GoPro out, and
Yeah,
they'll all be live. It'll be, I almost pulled the trigger like last week. I said, I really would love to meet some of these guys.
Yeah.
But then I said, I looked online at the airline flights and I said, oh God, to get involved with that, to try to haul some drones or anything, pack all that stuff up. I said, well, I could drive,
right.
Yikes.
2-day drive, break it up 2 days from Florida.
I thought about doing that too, and driving, and then just driving and flying all the way there and all the way back.
Take your time, fly.
Where do you live,
I'd
Rick?
go by New Orleans. I'd go by,
Yeah, I'm in California and I'm retired, so I got all the time in the world.
Gotcha.
and then I thought about how aggravating it is driving these days, and I probably would kill somebody before I got there. So I decided, I'm just going to stay home. So stay home, and we'll see all the videos, and we'll see what happens.
Do it
We'll
like
see what
Harris.
happens next year. Yeah. So Carlos, what do you think happened to my drone there?
It seems like one of the motors weren't responding.
Something because I wanted to show you. So let me put it back. Let me put it back in this mode here where you can see, and go back to this, and then move the slider along. You see where it says air mode, air mode, air mode, air mode. At some point I said, I clicked the switch and put it back into stabilized mode. There it is. See, it's this tab right there, because there was nothing I did which would do anything that resembled flying.
Was that saving you?
Well, I put it in the stabilized mode, and I gave it a bunch of throttle, and it leveled off. But you see what happened was, as soon as I tried to turn it, it went up sideways again, and it went. Now you see this. Let me see if I can find it. I actually went out there looking for it. So I took the SD card out of the drone. I brought it home and I printed some of these frames. You see this picture here? There's the canal.
Yeah.
I could see this house. I found this tree right here. Okay. And I stood exactly below. I had to squat down so that I was below this branch up there over the house, see it with the trees. And I put my eyes in exactly the position that camera was in. And then I went to I did it one frame by one frame. Then there was another frame there. It's hard to skip over. At any rate, from where I could see it was headed, it went out over the water. I don't know if you could, where was it? I'll get it. Anyway, I managed to find out where it went in. So I said, well, it's just right there in the canal.
You fished it?
I'll just go get it. So I take off my shoes and I step in this canal. Turns out it's like 4 feet deep right there, right off this thing. with all kinds of tree branches. I scratched the hell out of my leg and my knee, and I said,
boy.
"I don't want this. It ain't worth it." So I climbed out of the canal like some sea monster. I was up to my waist in there. You know,
Where was your cell phone during all this?
oh, I put that on. I set that down. I wasn't going to take anything
Good.
with me, you know. So, and I just had a little pair of sweat shorts on and bare feet. But I did scratch up my leg and everything. And I said, you know what? I didn't like that damn drone anyway. This is a great excuse to not have to deal with it anymore.
Wow.
So that was the end. That was the end of my beta FPV 85X. That thing from the day I got it.
Really?
And some of the guys have them say they fly great. Never. There must have always been something wrong with it, because every time I tried to do any kind of a maneuver with it, rolls, loops, it would always just the whole thing would just go like this, you know.
Right. Didn't like being upside down, I guess.
Yeah. So I thought, well, it would have been nice to get the at least get the SD card. It only had a 32 gig card. It had a $10 card in there, you know. So I figured, you know, is it worth it? The drone is useless now. If it's been in the water for a couple hours, you know, forget it. The water's in the camera, the water's everywhere. So I figured. Anyway, that was my first loss of a drone.
Real quick, Mitch, we have an not unusual, but a rare guest, Lena Music. You familiar with her?
Yeah, I am.
She
Hello.
came to say
Been
hi.
here before. How you doing? How you
Okay.
doing, sweetie?
Yeah.
And then we have
Jared.
Jared Elliott. Howdy, guys. Don't know Jared Elliott. I don't think he's been here before. But at any rate, so that was my big adventure, Carlos. And,
But small disaster. Thank God for that.
yeah, you know, it.
Although those things aren't cheap. That's almost $200.
No,
right?
almost $200 for the stupid thing.
Which
Yeah.
one was it?
The Beta FPV 85
X?
X
No.
HD. It
Right.
has the Cat X turtle in it, but it never was right. Not from the day I got it, and it was one of the first drones I ever got. You know,
That was your the second after. Well, your third, right?
that was my second drone. I think I got the.
No, the first was the M80, the Tiny Hawk. No.
Yeah, I got the. No, I think I got that before I got the Tiny Hawk.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I had gotten one of those Snapper 7s, but that was so bad I sent it back. I got it from Amazon. I just put it back in the box and said, "This thing is absurd." Now,
What happened? It just
it's just terrible. It just
broke.
I didn't like the way it was built. It was just one of those things. I wasn't happy with it. I really didn't know much. I really wasn't flying very well at all anyway. Jared Elliott says he loved my Tyro 129 build. Did you ever get returned to home to work on yours? You know, I haven't, Jared. I haven't. I've been so busy building and flying other things, and then finally getting involved in the DJI FPV, that I have not taken that 129 out and put it through its paces yet. So I can't tell you that I have. It's just been hanging up. I can't get anybody to feel sorry for me for having too many drones to deal with.
No, not at all.
No, I try.
Envious.
Well, Jared, anyway, we're going to give you a wrench so you can be one of the crowd here. And let me do that. And moderator. So the next thing in my adventures that I don't know if anybody's been following along with all my adventures, but I'm going off in so many different directions. Sometimes I don't know whether I'm coming or going. The Franken quad, guys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Say goodbye to Daddy of 13. He said bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate
Goodbye,
it.
Kevin.
Peter Carroll's in the house. How you doing, Peter? Anyway, there it is,
Oh, look at that.
the Franken quad, and
I
it
like that.
basically looks like a Tyro 99,
Yeah.
but it's got the only thing left from the original Tyro 99 on this thing is the frame. So it's got Emax Eco motors. It's got a Mamba F4 flight controller in it. It's got a Cat X Ratel camera, and I have a little video here. I haven't
Pick it up.
FPV'd it yet, but I did test it out.
Line of sight.
Yeah. So here, I'll see if I can't get that up. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. The way I have this thing set up, I don't have an
What kind
audio.
of props do you have on that? Jared wants to know.
The props are the Emax Avon.
Okay,
Avon,
Avon.
5-inch Avons. Yeah, they're the same props that come on the Hawk 5. It's the best. I use that prop on everything. I've got that same prop on the Marmot,
Gotcha.
which is
What's the angle on those? Do you know?
oh God, they're strange because they're big and fat in the center, and they really taper out. See,
Right.
I could probably try to read it on here. I don't think they make but one size of this. It doesn't even have any letters on it. So all I know is it's the same prop. I've got it the same prop here on that other the Gep RC DJI drone that I did. I use that. These props are just quiet. They just cover real quick, and I just like them. And I'm not experienced enough to know good from bad in some of these things. I'll gain that
It's
experience.
from use. You just use them and change.
So at any rate, this let's see if you guys can hear this. I have. Okay, here we are. We're going to. Can you hear that?
I heard. Hey, here we are. We're going.
Okay, good, because that's just basically coming from a speaker into the microphone. The way I have this set up with the mixer, I'm not bringing that sound back through the mixer. So I want you to hear a little bit of this. But let me go over to that. And oh, look, there's the wall of drones there. Let me play this and tell me if you can hear it. Okay. Take the Franken quad for a little spin here.
Yes.
Okay. Next strap on. And go. And here it is. Here's what we have. This is all finished. And radio. I don't know if it's going to bore the hell out of you, but so just going to take it for a line of sight, make sure everything is working correctly.
You haven't posted this on YouTube though.
No, not this. No,
Okay.
I saved this. When I go out and do a FPV flight with this thing next time I go out, then I might post it. But this is how far I got. The frame is so small that the VTX had to mount on top. I'm sorry you can't see the drone in my hand. When you wear these GoPros on your head, you don't know where the hell they're aiming.
Well, now you know for the next time.
I should have known from the last time, but right up to it, and just he shrunk the whole mess on, so that took care of that. Well, let me move it ahead so I don't bore you with all this chitter chatter. Let's see.
I think Jared likes your monkey like I do.
Oh, everybody likes Spank.
I like that fancy, what do they call that? Flight pad or takeoff pad there.
Oh yeah, very expensive Amazon cardboard box. Yeah, nothing but the best, man. Nothing but the best. luxury all the way.
Comes in different sizes too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I do have a pad, but it's a pain in the ass it's in the trunk of my car.
You haven't got the fold down? Oh, there you go. And this is stability mode, right? When you try it?
Yeah, but then I landed it and tried it in acro mode too.
Gotcha.
But the one thing that I test all of these quads now, since I kept having that trouble with the beta falling out, is I rocket them straight up, pull the throttle straight back, and see if it falls straight and doesn't fall off. See what I just did there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The comedian joined us.
Oh.
Did you watch?
Hi, Art.
Did you
How
watch
you doing?
stand up? That was pretty cool.
What's that?
Did you watch Art stand up routines?
Yeah, I did.
He's
I
good,
did,
right?
Yeah.
So we're going to get it in a couple of spots. Let's see what it tells us.
All right, let's land it and we'll try it in. Oh, Art's here with us. Okay.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
There you go.
Art, I'll bring you in a second, man.
Mostly copper. 10.
Somebody playing a radio, or is that?
It might be Mr. Rick Albert. Do you have a radio or something in the background?
I got a TV going. Let me see if I.
Oh, that's what it is. I fear. Okay.
How's that?
Better. Thank you.
No problem.
There it is. Now it's in acro mode now, but it flies. It's very quiet. Here it is. Here it comes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you handle it pretty good in acro.
Pretty stable. I did really calibrate the accelerometer pretty good. No, it might be back in stabilized mode now.
Okay.
Slight little bit of right. Yeah, that's in stabilized mode. To the left, very, very nice. Yeah, very. I mean, the thing flies beautifully. No, success. The Franken quad lives. There we go.
Drone shots. I don't think he's interested in finding the 85. He's saying that maybe you could take your Mavic to look for it.
No, the problem is the water.
The drop off.
The water is so murky. It's just like ink there. You know what I mean? It is absolutely like ink. And
any alligator, or what did you have? Alligators or crocodiles?
well, there have been alligators in there, and God knows what else is in there, and God knows what kind of bacteria.
Yeah,
is
really.
in there. You know, so once I scraped up my leg, I said, "There's no way I'm sticking a open sore back in that water. I'll end up with
that's true.
flesh-eating bacteria or something." So, I it's just not worth trying to find it, because if I find it, I'm just going to throw it away anyway. Maybe I'll get a SD card out of it. But at any rate, those are some of my adventures, and now there he is.
Thank you, my son.
The traveling man.
Yeah.
The comedian.
The
Yep.
comedian. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I hear that reminds me of an old Seinfeld. He tells a story about it. Cop stops him, in his car, and he's talking to the cop. He tries to make a joke, and the cop says, "Do you think
What?
you are a comedian?" He says, "Matter of fact, I am."
So, Art, just personally, you did a really good job. You were good. You're funny. You wrote all
thank
all
you.
that material.
Pardon?
Did you write all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very
Mhm.
creative.
Yep. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten drunk in your whole life? Tipsy?
Mhm.
Tipsy.
Me?
Yeah. You must be a real hoot to hang out with then.
Thank you, Kiwi, RIP85X, and
All right.
Yeah.
Brea Smith. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. Somebody new.
Carlos, I started off with Fuzzy Navels.
Okay.
Then I graduated to Rumple Mints, and now I'm a whiskey drinker.
Whiskey.
Yeah. Whiskey
I'm really indulged in
or
mine.
straight up. Yep.
Takes too long to recover if I drink too much.
Oh, I know. I can't. You know what? I can't. I don't drink much anymore because I just have one drink and I feel like crap the next day.
Yes.
Yeah,
It does something to you.
Yep.
that's
Catches
what
up
happens,
with you.
old folks. You
Well, I'm not
can't-
there, but it's just nah.
Yeah. hmm
So Bray Smith in the chat says, "I want to buy my first drone and want to spend around $300. Any suggestions? Are you interested in photography, camera drones, or are you interested in FPV drones?"
I would say what Mad Kiwi just said.
And Kiwi suggested a Spark. Yeah, but for somebody who wants to get into FPV, a Spark is not the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
So it all depends. So I asked the question. Let's see if they answer.
Rick Halbert, did you ever get any kind of FPV, the Tiny Hawk or anything? No.
Yeah, I have a little Tiny Hawk, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought the goggles that you have.
Okay. Have
and
you
I got the jumper controller,
Oh, okay.
and I haven't really got in. I'm waiting for winter to kick in a little bit more,
Oh,
So
you're
I
going to
can
fly
sit-
it in the house.
so I can fly it in the house and play
Right.
and get used to it, and then
Mhm.
Okay.
use up the sunshine we got left
Yeah.
for the summertime and stuff.
Mhm.
Use my other, the DJI stuff I got.
Where did you get it from? Amazon or from Banggood?
I got some for both.
Oh,
Well, you can
Only
get you
because
can
you
get
can-
all that stuff from except the jumper. Amazon doesn't have. I mean, I looked. I just
they don't have it. I thought they did.
I just got this.
Is that the 12 or
That's the
Oh,
that's the new one, the new T16
the
Pro
16? Yeah,
Pro with the built-in multi-protocol module
Right.
and all effects. $159.
that's cheap.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Yeah,
Not only is it cheap and absurd, but look.
Ooh, second.
Look, it's got this huge.
big
It's got
screen.
this huge color screen, the same exact display that the Horos 10, the big $500 free sky has.
I got to see if I can send mine back.
I mean, this thing here is incredible, and the reason I ended up getting it is because
Because
watching the reviews of it, I'm going to be building some FPV airplanes, which are going to be using Spectrum receivers. And I don't want to use. I have a couple of old transmitters, but I don't want to use the old transmitters. I want to make sure everything's right. So I needed a transmitter that worked with
Right.
Spectrum, and rather than buy a Spectrum module for the free sky, this thing has a multi-protocol module built into it,
Right, you can
combined
use it
with
for
virtually
everything.
anything, and then I can plug my R9 module in the back for my drones that use the R9. So this is like, and Joshua Bardwell just did a review, and basically has said this is his new daily driver radio.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Who else, who's the guy over in, I guess, Australia or
Yeah,
someplace?
Stu,
UA?
UAV Futures. Yeah,
He did a review on it too.
yeah, and that's when after I watched his review, I found a link, an affiliate link to a company in China to Team Black Sheep.
Okay.
TBS, Team Black Sheep in Hong Kong. They had a link, $159, and they had them in stock because they're hard to find, evidently.
Yeah, I was looking for it when I got this one and I didn't see it anywhere. Nobody
Well,
had it
this,
that good.
Yeah, Banggood won't sell them because Free Sky sent a letter to all their dealers saying, "You sell that
Right.
jumper, we're not going to sell to you." I mean, it was a lousy thing for them to do, but that they're all past that. OpenTX is supporting it now too. The new Pro version comes with that little module built into it, so you don't have to put it in. It's built in, and it has the Hall effect gimbals, and it's $159, which
Yeah, I think I paid 115 or something for the other
it's
one.
nuts. So if anybody asks me what radio they should get now as a beginner, I would say spring for this radio for that kind of money instead
Yeah,
of
you can use it on everything.
anything and everything. And I just got it, and interestingly enough, it was $159. The but it wasn't free shipping, so the shipping was 20 something bucks. That was
Right.
standard U.S. Post Office snail mail. You might have it by Christmas shipping, but
Jeez.
for $30, you could get DHL
7 days. Or,
second day.
oh,
I ordered this thing on Monday. I got it yesterday.
boy.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
Honest to God.
From where?
And not only did I get it yesterday, but I got it yesterday in the morning.
Where did it come from?
Hong Kong.
That's
1.5 days, basically, in shipping. It took. I ordered it Monday afternoon. I got it Wednesday morning, and it cost me $10 more in freight than the slow boat.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that because I think I can still send mine back to Amazon.
Team
Look up,
Team
Grayson Hobby.
TBS. In fact, if you want the link, let Stu. You know Stu, UAV.
Yeah.
Good day, Stu.
Can't miss him.
Speaking of Stu, you know who came into my? You watch his stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you know who Grumpy Trev is.
Yeah.
Well, Grumpy Trev has been coming into some of my live streams.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I almost know somebody who knows a star.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've watched him for quite a while.
Yeah, I like his stuff. You got to take him with a grain of sand because
Great.
he tends to sometimes, he's in it for the money like most people.
Oh yeah,
But
well, he's doing it full time now, right?
Yep. But in his video about the Jumper T16 is a link to the Race Day Quads website, and they had them on Monday, $159, and believe me, it was about $190 total. For $190 to get a radio like this, that basically does everything and more than the $500 Free Sky one, and has the nice thing about this radio, it's a Futaba. Okay, that's what this is. It's a Futaba. It has the form factor of every radio I've ever flown RC with.
I still think it's too big.
This thing feels like a radio to me, unlike the
what you're used to.
Yeah, it's what I'm used to. The sticks are great. The size is great. It even balances on the neck strap. You don't have to have that stupid extension thing on it. It's the way a radio should be. No, it's not. It's not as space age looking as this. With all the angles and the chisels. Yeah. But
too big. In my
yeah, this once I get everything converted, is going to become my radio for virtually everything, and I'm looking forward to it.
Rhea Smith asks, how long have you guys been flying drones?
I've only been flying drones less than 2 years.
I don't think has it been. Oh, well, you're flying the GPS also, right?
Yeah, I'm flying the GPS. I've been flying FPV drones now for, I don't know, 6-7 months, but I'm a quick study. And I've been flying RC airplanes of all kinds, and helicopters and jets since the 1960s. So I have a lot of experience in RC.
A lot of experience.
Yeah, I may be new to drones, but
EBR said good night to you guys. To everyone.
Oh, okay, EBR. Yeah, he's
EBR,
over there in Europe. It's got to be getting late for him over there. So that's the latest. I also, I don't know where to turn. I took all my spin up money that I would have spent at spin up and bought a bunch of stuff. See?
Yeah,
makes sense.
And I got, remember I told you I was going to get that twin engine, the twin motor sonic model binary. It's sitting back there and in the box. I haven't opened it yet. I'm waiting for all the different parts of it. You need the bottle, you need the power kit with the motors.
Right.
You need the landing gear kit. If you want to put the blinky flashy lights in it, you need the light kit. So I managed to find the model on Amazon, the model and the power kit for pretty much the same price as China. So I got it and they came in right away. The landing gear I bought from Banggood, but from their US warehouse. So that'll be here tomorrow. And the light kit is on the slow boat from China. So we may get that in a couple of weeks, but I don't need that. So I'm going to actually chronicle. I might do some of it on live, some of it on videos, but I'm going to chronicle that whole adventure because I'm going to build that up with either Ardu Pilot or the Eagle Tree Vector or some kind of fairly sophisticated flight control system, automated flight control system in it, and FPV and all that other stuff. And
is the plane basically built? It's not.
Yeah, you get a foam fuselage, wing panels, the servos are mounted, the ailerons are hinged. It's not. You don't really have to build it.
It comes in pieces, right? And you just kind of put it together, and
I would think.
Yeah. Is it all held together with rubber bands like the old
no.
This
thing, aren't you? So I showed you the pictures of it, didn't I, last time?
I think you did.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, Bria says she might get the Spark, which I think is probably the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But make sure you get the controller. Don't just buy the drone. Get the controller,
Yeah.
drone, maybe an extra battery.
Spark's the best way to go.
Well, let me then give Bria
A wrench.
a wrench so you don't stick out like a sore thumb. As long as I know you're not a troll, and I guess you're not. So thank you for coming in. And then another question here, Jared Elliott. Can I recommend an easy to build 3-channel balsa model? Good luck. I haven't built a balsa model in
Since he had hair.
20 years. Yeah, in 20 years. Everything is foam now.
Yeah.
But if you go into any local hobby shop, they probably have they can brush the dust off of God knows how many of these old kits, and
And
they're
plus the
they're
dope
just-
will give you a headache.
they're oh God, we used to love all this good smelly stuff.
Yeah,
Solid.
that's the stuff you put on the skin to make it tighten up. Mhm.
This
I got to get going here, Mitch.
okay, Rick. Well, thanks for coming in, man. Good to see
Yeah.
you.
Well,
Good to
I'm
see you,
I'm
Rick.
coming a little more now.
You're always welcome here. You know that.
I really appreciate you letting me come in.
Oh, anytime, man. Love to have you.
Hey, Rick, where are you
Us
located?
older guys have to stick together, you know.
Yeah, I'm in California, Art.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Cool.
All right, buddy.
all right, guys. It's good seeing
All right,
everybody.
take care, Rick.
Take care. Have a nice evening.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Art, are you gonna do some more videos of your?
My stand up?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a couple of videos I pulled down from my Arts Place channel, but the volume is so low I can't figure out how to pump up the volume on that.
Sounds like a song.
Well, you can always stick it into a video editor,
That's what I did.
crank up the volume, and then re-render it out.
I did that unless I'm doing something wrong.
Well, it's
Because
possible, but that should help you. I mean, either that or get an audio program like Audacity and or
Yeah, I
something.
have that.
Just take the soundtrack itself,
Yeah, that's
boost
a
up the
good
volume
idea.
and re-put it in the timeline as the new
There you
soundtrack.
go.
and
Good
sync-
idea.
Sync it up, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to show you.
I'd like to see some more, Art.
All
I
right.
wanted to. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
funny stuff, Art.
It was good.
Yeah, the ones I was talking about, that was back when I had long blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used
down to
to have
my
long-
shoulders.
I used to have long blonde hair. Anyway, this is that Sonic. This is that
That's what you're
model.
gonna make?
This is the one I'm going to make. Yeah, and
Now, Mitch,
it's about a 4 foot wingspan.
not that you ever crash, but do you ever buy extra parts like wings and things like that?
No, I ordered an extra set of props, but these
Props.
foam airplanes, if you crash them that bad, you throw them away. But you can glue. I mean, you can glue them back together.
Gotcha.
Use just like tight bond or something. You can.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, but
Did
this
you
is
never
one-
had problem with landing gear snapping off?
Well, it depends on what you're flying. On an airplane like this, no, the landing gear on this thing are
Solid.
Yeah, pretty
tremendously
rugged.
substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this thing is a really well built. It's got carbon fiber spars and stiffeners everywhere. Let's see if I can get the picture up here. And it comes with all the decals, and you can put the FPV camera in.
Yep.
You
yep.
take up front there. It's got a camera bay in the belly if you want to put a mapping camera in, and pretty
Right.
neat. Pretty neat deal. I'm looking forward to it. So that's what I'm going to be building here.
Is it cooling off in Florida?
A little bit. It was about 70 degrees this morning.
Oh, that's
We're
nice.
Freezing. Yeah.
Wait, freezing? Like being in 90 and high 80s. Oof. Because
Yeah,
Ed's
no, the weather's been nice. The weather's nice here.
When I went to the Philippines, I went in February, and the low temperature was in the low 70s.
where was this?
In the Philippines, when I was there in 17. Yeah. And, that's their dry season there. And
People live in
doesn't get really, really hot, but in summertime, oh God, it could be
How they do-
blazing hot.
I don't know how you do it, Mitch. My son lives in Orlando. I don't know how he does it.
Oh, it doesn't bother me at all. I love the weather here.
I guess your body acclimates to it.
Yeah, I've been in Florida since 1970.
Oof.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So
I don't know how you guys
he's
live
a
up there.
prune.
Cold, you know.
With all that humidity, he's a prune now. All shriveled up. See, when he first moved there, he had hair and his forehead was smooth. Now look at all those lines, you know. Yeah, look at that.
I've had the lines all my life.
I got a line down the middle forever.
Yeah, always had the lines. It's all lighting. I mean, I could change the lighting in here and the lines would go away.
Mm-hmm.
I could change the. I don't want to fool with the camera settings. I can give myself a nice sunburn.
Right.
There, see?
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
Right out of the tanning salon, huh?
There's an actor that always has a tan. I don't know if he's still alive. The older guy, you know what I'm talking about? He was on Hollywood Squares, I think.
Oh, you're thinking of yeah, the guy. He's got the mole right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah, I know.
A forever tan. I mean, he's probably a much older guy now, but
I know who you're talking about.
He did
the
that vampire movie with Artie Johnson.
Oh God, what the hell was his name? You know, that's
George Hamilton.
Three guys who can picture him.
George Hamilton.
George Hamilton.
That's it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
George
Hamilton.
I think he's still around.
Is he?
I haven't heard whether.
He's walking the earth. He doesn't do anything on TV as of late. I don't think.
So what happened to my whole audience? This thing says I got 7 people watching now. Last time I looked, it was 20.
I think they went over to
everybody
Dan.
away? Over to who?
Dan is on now.
Who's Dan?
Drone worship?
Yeah.
Ah, well, good luck to him.
Man, that poor guy. One of his last live stream, he had a guy that looked like he was intoxicated. Did you see that, Mitch?
No, I have to take it. I like Dan. I wish him the best, but I no animosity. I just have to take a break from it every once in a while. Two.
The last one was about clickbait.
I just can't. I can't be complaining. I don't want to be complaining about everything all the time. Turn into the traditional grumpy old man. I try to be happy. I do get aggravated at too many things, and but I just don't want to go out of my way looking for conflict or looking for people that are unhappy about everything. I want to.
You didn't watch the Democrat debates the other night.
Oh God, no. Although I heard that they were the best. That was the best comedy show in town, from what I heard.
Yeah. Well, I heard. What was it? NCIS got a bigger crowd than
normal
than the debate.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, they're the stunts. There's no other way to say it than it's one stunt after another with these people.
Yeah.
And marching out of that meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
They just do that a few months ago when they were wasn't it the same exact script? Go in there, insult the president, and then
march right out of there.
March out and say he's lost his mind. I mean, come on.
We're going to impeach you. We don't like you.
I think today is like National Recognize Personal Pronoun Day.
I don't know, but this is how I can't imagine them running the country with this current crop, because this is the way they run their own. They can't even run their own party. Can you imagine those people trying to negotiate with the president of China?
Right. Yeah.
It's scary. And this business about, we'll talk politics a little bit.
Okay.
This business about Trump pulling out of the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
Was it 26 people?
I thought it was 150.
No, 26 people.
That's it, huh?
And the reason why, from what I understand, was that Erdogan said, we're going to invade Syria. And Trump said, don't you dare. He says, no, it's already decided. We are going to invade Syria. And Trump said, we got 26 or 28 people there. And if we don't get them out of there, they're going to get killed. So he brought them home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, they're giving him grief. Now, imagine it was went the other way. imagine that he left them there and
And
all
they
28 got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'd be hearing from Nancy Pelosi, Trump knew it was going to happen. He knew it was going to happen, and he didn't bring them home.
Mhm.
He's the guy can't win with the current crisis. No matter what he does, no
Yeah.
matter what he does, it's going to be wrong with those people. So I stopped listening to him.
Yep.
I just stopped. I watch Dan Bongino, who's got a great YouTube stream every day.
Right.
For people who are interested in reality, it's a great, and he's a very entertaining guy. And he came up with what he calls the Bongino rule.
How do you spell that?
Bongino, Dan Bongino.
Got it.
Guy's an ex-Secret Service agent. Tremendous.
And that's the name of his YouTube. I just found
Dan
that.
Bongino, yeah. Every day he has a podcast, a YouTube podcast for about an hour, and he is the source. He just wrote a book called Exonerated, which is probably now what I consider the definitive source on the reality of the Russian hoax. Now,
Yep.
he has a thing he calls the Bongino rule,
Uh-huh.
and that
Tell
is
us.
ignore it. Whatever you hear, whatever the headline, whatever the outrage, whatever it is, ignore it for 24 to 48 hours or 72 hours, and the reality will finally come out.
Uh-huh. Yep, that's about right. Hey, do you guys remember a cartoon in the newspaper called Family Circus?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, somebody posted it on Facebook, and it's on my page now, where the father has a cookie, and his young son Billy wants a cookie, and the father says, "Now, what do we say when we want something?" And Billy says, "I'm offended."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm outraged. I'm
Yeah.
offended. Yeah, every day. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. I
I
mean,
know.
You
hey,
heard of
Barry G, how you doing?
Have you ever heard of Mark Dice, Mitch?
Who?
Mark Dice. He does a YouTube channel. Mark Dice, D-I-C-E.
No,
He's pretty
I
funny.
haven't seen him. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Bongino's not funny. He's dead serious about this.
Yeah.
And it's good to watch. Anyway, there.
All right, let's talk about drones. Let's talk about spin up. Oh,
Spin
wait
up.
a minute. I'm going.
You're going. Yeah. Yeah. You're.
Have you seen my video on how to travel with the drone?
Yeah, I saw that today. I was the
Yeah.
first one to see it. I
Oh,
was the
that's
first-
right. That's right.
When I clicked on it, it had no views and no comments.
Right.
So
Well, I had to pull it down because
Really?
there was something on the end I wasn't really happy with. So what I
That's why
did
you put the
is
second one?
I uploaded the second one.
so I was the first one to get the second one.
Okay, cool.
It's important for me to be first. I want to be first.
The first to get this. And
If I can't be first, I'm not watching it.
One thing I brought up was when you're packing, what do you do with all your accessories? Like your controllers, your charging stuff. I mean, you got a whole jumble full of wires that are all tangled up, and that's what happened to me when I went to Detroit and going through security, and they opened up my backpack and all. I mean, just a jumble of wires. So what I thought of was, how about sandwich bags? Just roll them up, stick them in there. Everything is all in there nice and neat, and you're not struggling to untangle all these cords and stuff like that.
Well, you know what they say about ideas, don't you? That anything you think of, somebody else has probably already thought of.
Yeah, who knows?
I've been doing that for years, man. Even in my stuff, my FPV bag. Okay,
Right.
everything is in little sandwich bags. To keep all that crap separate. It's a great idea, Art. It
Well,
really.
you should talk to Kelly Shores about it, because I watched his video, and I covered basically everything he talked about, plus a few more things. And the sandwich bag idea was.
Yeah, that's a great Ziploc bags.
Yeah. Mhm.
In this,
For the sake of see-through as well as
yeah, it's a terrific way. Even when you travel, if you go on a cruise ship, and you got all of this bathroom crap, you got your toothbrush, toothpaste. You just put them in different bags.
Yep.
Keeps them
Yep.
separate. Keeps your toothbrush clean.
do they still have the 4-ounce rule, Art?
I have no idea
Oh, on the
because
airplanes, you mean about like shampoo and stuff like that?
yeah, I don't bring shampoo because I get it for free at the hotel, and I bring it back home. Steve Carpenter says, "Here you go, Mitch, old guy." And
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah.
I have cut and pasted it already, and I'll take a look at that. No,
I
Mark,
know what you're talking about now, this Dan Bongino.
yeah, you can only watch. I can only watch. You can only watch so much of this stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I get.
only on maybe anywhere from a 6 to 8, 9-minute video.
Oh, okay. I'll take a look at that. And I'm sure he'll take a look at my video too.
I don't know about that, but he gets from CNN does.
There's another kid out there. His name is Tim Cast. Tim Pool, I think is his last name. And he's got a gazillion followers, and he wears a long shirt, stocking cap.
Oh, okay.
And he's a Democrat, but he spends his he does 2 or 3 things a day, and he's on all the time, and his commentary is pretty good. For him being a Democrat, he's busting the Democrats 99% of the time.
Right.
Calling them out for the stupid stuff that
They're hurting themselves, which is, I mean, it's good that they talk because they're just proving what, knuckleheads they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but his stuff keeps coming up in my YouTube feed. I'm looking at the chat here. Steve Carpenter says, yes, clear carry on.
Flyway or
effect. Yeah. So be careful what you take on, because everybody knows how deadly a nail clipper is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I trim all my nails before I go.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea to do that stuff. Sometimes with me, I could actually not even take a razor, because if I just shave my neck here and up here on the side of my face, I can go for 3 days. Nobody will know the difference when you have a beard. Yep. So a lot of times if I'm going on a short little jaunt, but I don't travel much anymore. It really takes.
I want to make to Florida. I want to see my son, and then maybe try to get to visit you, Mr.
Yeah, you should come over. Like I say, I'm 45 minutes. Whereabouts in Orlando does your son live?
15 minutes from Disney.
In what city?
Orlando.
In the city of Orlando.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Orlando is a metropolitan area. It's like saying I live in New York. Well, where in New York? Yeah.
15 minutes from Disney. That's the best I can tell you, because he just recently moved.
Does he live in Kissimmee?
I can't tell you. I'd be lying if I told you.
Okay.
Let me try.
Could be an hour from me, because that might be on the other side.
Yeah. How far are you from St. Augustine? 3 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah, about 3 hours south.
Yeah, that's way up there by Jacksonville.
South of Jacksonville, yeah. I'm
Between
about
Jacksonville and Daytona.
Yeah. I'm about an hour south of Daytona, hour and 15 minutes.
I've been there. I like Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I had my boat, I docked it in Daytona Beach. Ooh. So I used to spend a lot of time on the boat in Daytona Beach, and the town has got an exorbitant number of undesirables. Let's put it that way.
Ooh.
A lot of homeless, a lot of drug addicts, and then they have all these events.
I don't remember seeing that, but it was a while ago. I mean, I was at.
I mean, it really is a strange town with all the events, the spring break and
right,
Black College reunion they have, and they have Bike Week. The bikers are probably the most well behaved, believe it or not.
Okay. And Mitch, how far are you from Jupiter?
About an hour north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hour and 15 minutes. Jupiter is just north of West Palm Beach, south.
I have a friend. He's got a house in Florida there. So
In Jupiter.
in Jupiter. Yep.
That's Burt Reynolds
Yep.
territory.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, you got Jupiter, Florida, and then there's a Uranus, Missouri.
Uranus.
Yeah, there's a company that makes fudge in
No,
Uranus, Missouri.
You're
No,
Art,
go look it up on YouTube.
Art.
They have a commercial.
Nah,
Get your fudge in Uranus.
Art, a British
Out the back door.
a British friend of mine used to pull his leg up in the air and go, "Pull on this one, mate. It's got bells on it."
Well, you have Intercourse, Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That I heard of. Yeah.
Mhm. How about Blue Balls? Have you been to Blue Balls?
Blue ball.
I think
I'm
that.
not touching that one. That's a set.
No. You know,
Well,
Art,
there's
we
a
know that you're a comedian. See, we know you're a comedian.
Well, you missed it last night. I was on Claude's show, and we were talking about actresses who've had plastic surgery done, and we were talking about Jennifer Grey and Megan Fox, and there was some other actress. They showed a before and after, and the after shot. I said, "Wow, she looks like Mick Jagger," and everybody just busted up because she really did. She looked like Mick Jagger because she had her lips done, and oh God,
Some people are addicted to that.
Yep. Well, look at Joan Rivers. It killed her.
Oh yeah, and
is that what killed her?
Phyllis Diller. Remember Phyllis Diller?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But she wasn't that extreme. It looked, when she had it done, it looked natural. Not like these other gals who have their lips done and their nose or their eyes. Or, they look like a blow-up doll.
I haven't.
And then they get Botox everywhere, and they have no control over the muscles anymore. So they really are.
They look surprised.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's our fault. The men, everybody knows that.
Yep. I mean, even the guys too.
Their problems are named after men.
Look, I knew a guy in the real estate business. When I had my restaurant, he used to come in quite often. And he was about my age, but he was already on his third or fourth round of plastic surgery, to make his face. And I said, "What the hell? What are you doing?" He said, he says, I have to do this to remain relevant in the eyes of the younger people I deal with. Wow. It's all about looks, and and it is.
It's not how you feel; it's how you look.
Well,
you
then
look
remember Billy Crystal?
Yeah, you look. What was that?
He says
Fernando Lamas.
Yeah, that was Fernando. He says
Fernando.
But he called himself. Billy Crystal did this this character.
Yep.
And he says it's better to look good than to feel
good.
Yeah.
You look marvelous.
You look marvelous.
You look marvelous.
Yeah, that was the character he did. Yeah. He's a talented guy, and I'm sure he's still living because I haven't heard, but he you don't hear from him anymore.
No, I think the last movie he did was Parenthood or something like that, where I mean it was like cameo of people in it. They brought back the Japanese kid from Pretty in Pink. Remember when they had the party at her house, and he was the Japanese kid. He had a crush on this. I
vaguely remember that. That's a long time ago.
But he also did a movie with Michael Keaton where they opened up the Japanese auto plant in the United States.
That I remember. Yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah.
hmm
Hey, you know what I wasn't crazy about? I was a little disappointed was with the El Camino.
Yeah. You're right. It was good, but it wasn't as good as the series as Breaking Bad was.
Are they going to do anything with that, or that was it? Just that one time El Camino?
Well, what else can they do?
No,
I
I
mean-
thought maybe it was going to be a series of his new.
I don't know. I mean, for me, that was the one like loose end that was left at Breaking Bad because everybody else was dead basically.
Right.
And of course, I mean, it's become a cult thing. And you go look on YouTube under Breaking Bad,
Really?
you'll see hundreds of videos. The 10 things that you missed in Breaking Bad.
Right.
50 things you didn't know, were in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And they put all these little, what do they call them?
Yeah, there are several
Criminal-
guys that do videos about things you didn't know about this actor, this actress, or this show, that show. And
What do they call them? Not cookies, but
It's not bloopers.
no, when there's
No.
there's something buried in there that you
Subliminal, no?
yeah, they look, yeah.
They do it in some of the cartoons. They have like sexual innuendo supposedly. And
Family Guy is all sexual.
no, but in kids cartoons, in actual kids cartoons, like Sleeping Beauty or whatever. I don't know. What's the other one? Toy Story. Things, not those in particular, but those kind of shows.
So why were you disappointed with El Camino?
I kept waiting.
Easter eggs. Thank you.
Yes, Easter
Thank
eggs.
you, Roger. We're all getting old. Easter eggs. That's what I'm talking about. Easter eggs. Yeah.
I just thought I expected more to come out of it, and it was kind of, I don't know. Just
Well, they had all that. They brought back most of the characters had
the old
cameos.
guy in the beginning, the skin.
Mike, and the guy who
Skinny.
the vacuum cleaner guy
Right.
who
That's right.
relocated him, and they had Walt. But you know what I noticed more? The thing I noticed the most was Todd. Todd.
Was the guy with Skinny?
No, Todd was the guy that the redhead, the guy that kept him in the cage. One of the gang. Yeah, he was like 10 years older and 30 pounds heavier than the last time we saw him.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
I didn't remember.
If you looked at the last episodes of Breaking Bad, he was a kid. And of course that was 5-6 years ago. And now they brought him back for the movie, and most of the other people still could pass. Look, but he had put on a lot of weight and looked completely different. They got used to it after a few scenes. But when I first saw him, I did a double take. I said, "Oh shit, let yourself go there, young man."
He's spending his money on food.
Yeah. RD, FPV, how you doing?
Yeah.
And Rojo, how you doing, my friend?
Donor.
And who's this back from the sky guy? I think it's Conrad. And, who else? Barry's in here. Gary's still in here.
Donor sounds like Mojo.
Mojo Jojo from
Mojo Jojo. Yeah.
Troll FPV.
From,
We got a guy in here named
Powerpuff
Troll
Girls.
FPV.
You know who that is?
Power Pups.
I know who Troll FPV is.
Well, he's blue. He must have been in here before.
Yeah, you know him. He was here. That's Paduga.
Oh, is that who that is? Okay. Oh, man. We got a nice bunch of guys. We got a nice bunch of people.
Yep.
So everybody tonight is over at Dan. Dan's having a stream, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. Let me see if
I
that.
don't know. Yeah, go look and see. He's been doing a lot of streams lately.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he does have 21 people. Mad Kiwi's there. Drone Shots is there.
Well, they like him. If
Tom,
they- I don't know.
The Ranger. I'm telling you, the last live stream, I felt bad for him because he had one guy in the background doing this, and it's supposed to be about clickbait. He actually had a Bill MRC, the guy from England or English dude. You know who he is at all? He's a reviewer, older guy. No,
Probably if I see him. There's so many of them.
and then there was this other guy that was like pretty smashed. I even wrote in the chat, "Is this guy, sober?" I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I don't know.
So, Art, at 8 o'clock when we're done here, are you going to Dallas, Texas to the Trump rally, or are you going to Tennessee to the Ken Herron show?
I'm going to Tennessee.
All right. That's what I thought.
Yeah. I mean, the rally is going to be packed, and he's going to say some great stuff.
And usually you'll hear the great stuff will always.
Yeah. The media will say, "Oh, there's some empty seats."
Yeah, there's
an empty seat. They're all up in the rafters. That's why.
Oh man, I'll tell you. I don't know. I'll probably go watch Ken Herron for a little while, and we'll see if he's got an interesting show. He's got any guests this week?
Yes, he does. Kelly is back. Kelly Green, and
he's got to be getting ready to go to.
I think they'll both be. They're probably going to leave right after the show. If I know Ken, he's probably going to drive down there.
So I get a call.
You did.
I don't know if I should say this or not, but I will. I got a call from Jerry Calvary. And he's helping Ken Herron build a drone.
Right.
And he needs my help. He has a question for me about how to do something. So I said, so I told him the answer. And I said, tell Ken Herron where you got the information.
Who was that asked you?
Jerry Calvary, drone obsessed.
Oh, okay.
Jerry, the school teacher. Yeah. Nice guy. We had a nice conversation. I said to him, you make sure you tell Ken that old guy had the answers.
My son responded, Windermere.
Oh, Windermere. Yeah. That's I know where that is.
That's where he's.
Yeah, that's a nice area, Windermere. That's where all the rich people live. That's where Bay Hill and the Arnold Palmer Golf Course and all the basketball players used to live out that way.
I have a cousin down in St. Cloud.
St. Cloud is in Osceola County, a little more rural, and mostly immigrant now, mostly Brazilian, South Americans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's and farmers and there's areas in some parts of Orlando where if you speak English, nobody will understand you.
Oh wait, really?
Oh yeah. Yep.
My big cousin's at a retirement home down there, a retirement community.
I'm about 20, 25 miles from St. Cloud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not too far at all.
How's traffic by you?
Not bad. We don't have a lot of traffic. You get your little rush hour thing, but nothing like up north. No.
Nothing at all.
No, and I'm right off 90. I mean, I'm right next to I-95. I could get anywhere from here.
Blocks away. It looked like only 4 or 5 blocks away, according to that video that you just showed.
Oh no, I'm right next to it, to 95. Yeah, I mean, not even blocks. It's like yards.
Well, there's some streets in between.
The wall. No, there's one street over is the wall where 95 is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me about all that water. No, not a lot of mosquitoes because of that.
No, they spray and they keep it pretty well.
Yeah.
Keep it under control. We've had very few mosquitoes this year. Not bad at all.
Plus, they put little tiny fish in there called killifish or mosquito fish, and they feed on the mosquito larvae.
Yeah, now we got python snakes.
Oh yeah, and then you have iguanas too.
They're vegetarians. So you have had sightings of alligators.
A couple little alligators in here. One thing about living in Florida is very rarely do you ever hear about anybody attacked or hurt by an alligator.
Mm-hmm.
You have to assume, however, that every body of water, whether it's a retention pond or has an alligator in it, and the people who really need to assume that are people with little dogs that they turn loose.
And
Mm-hmm.
You heard about that poor kid in Disney, right?
Yeah. Hell, We've got some birds here big enough that go come in
Yeah.
dogs. They pick up these little dogs and fly off with them.
Hmm.
Jim Wallace, how you doing?
Hey, Jim.
I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. He says he stocked up Ken Heron with some new eyeball stickers and shirts. Good deal. Good deal. Well, good to see you, man. He's on his way to Ken Heron show. That's what everybody else is.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched the whole show. Maybe a few minutes of it.
I enjoy Ken shows.
No, I usually stay and watch the whole thing because never know what's going to happen because he's pretty entertaining. You know, he's been in radio for almost 30 years and he's a natural entertainer.
Yeah, yes, he is.
Where did he?
Here I got a notice for Drone Worship's stream.
Yeah.
What's happening to GPS system? 7:44 p.m. Well,
I'm really wondering about this whole FAA thing. I hope they don't take our hobby away.
no, we'll be okay. We're gonna have to play by the rules. That's all, and we'll be all right. And I think if you're flying, I don't want to have to be flying little whoops in order to be legal. I want to be able to fly there isn't. I don't care what anybody says. When people tell me that a little 2.5 inch toothpick flies like a 7-inch quad, it doesn't. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. There's a. That's like saying that a Piper, a Cessna 172 flies like a 747. No, it doesn't. There's a feel, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Carlos, there's just a feel of stability and weight to a bigger aircraft, and that's definitely true. The difference between I have some 3-inch quads, and they don't feel like 5-inch quads or 7-inch quads.
Although the Acrobat is pretty smooth, right?
Yeah, but not like the 5-inch. That Marmot,
Right.
man. I tell you what, that little rebuild with the DJI thing.
Hmm.
This is probably going to become with the new Zing motors. Remember that? You all sat through the build. I think that's the one that I flew in that last video. I think that is absolutely going to be one of my favorite. That thing just flew so nice, and I really wasn't trying to do anything fancy. Just fly it around slow and get. I really like it, and I can't wait to. That's going to be the first quad I'm going to transfer over to my new jumper radio.
Oh, okay.
And I'm looking forward to flying that. I think that.
How about the Nazgul?
I haven't flown it yet.
Are you kidding?
No, I mean, what am I only have so much time and opportunity where the weather and everything comes together.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
No, I mean that's the problem. I've just it's stupid, and I just keep building these things. now I can.
Well, I'm flying. Well, this is the weather more conducive, at least.
Yeah. And yesterday I took I did take the Marmot out, and then I took just did that little line of sight flight on the Franken quad, but I got so much to do, which is good. I need the variety, and I need to
Keep busy.
Hmm.
yeah. Here, Gary brings up something we haven't mentioned it at all tonight yet, Gary, the Skydio.
Right.
I saw a video today.
You did.
About the Skydio camera.
Good or bad, or just
It was done by a very reputable lab that does camera testing, evidently.
Right.
And they tested the Mavic Air, the Mavic Zoom, the Mavic Pro, and the Skydio 2. And they tested the cameras just video,
Right.
not still.
Yeah.
And because video, if you remember, 4K video is about 8.5 needs 8.5 megapixel.
Right.
So there's no having a 20 megapixel sensor or a 12 megapixel sensor doesn't make any difference for 4K video, the sensor size. but they were looking at all the dynamic range, and the results of that study were that the Skydio video was equal to the Mavic 2 Pro
Ooh.
and better than the Mavic Zoom and the
Mavic Air.
Mavic Air.
Yeah.
That it was every bit as good. Plus, don't forget the Skydio does 4K 60,
Right.
and the Mavic 2 Pro only does 4K 30.
Ooh.
But they talked about the results of the thing were that not only is this thing going to be an incredibly capable flyer, both to follow you and to avoid obstacles, but the quality of the video is every bit as good as the Mavic 2 for half the money.
Right. I was just
Mhm.
going to say.
It's half the money.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. When you buy a Mavic, the Mavic 2 Pro right now is $1,700 and something, and then you got to buy a spare battery or a fly more $400. At any rate,
Wow. Wait, go back. $1,700 for the drone and one battery,
yeah, $1,700 now.
and not a controller.
No, it comes with the controller.
Okay, so
But,
just one of each. And the batteries are how much? $99.99
No, $159 a piece
for one battery?
Oh no, for the Skydio they're $100.
No, for the Pro.
Yeah, you buy the Flymore kit. You get 2 batteries and the case and extra. It's like $400 something
Extra.
extra. Anyway, it came out when you added up equivalents that the Mavic 2 Pro was about $900 more
Wow.
than the Skydio. So it's going to be interesting to see when they finally come out with it. It's going to be interesting. Like I say, I got an order in for one, and so far I haven't seen any reason to not accept it when they notify me that they've got one ready. But I'm not holding my breath either.
You think it'll happen this year?
Well, I mean, when I ordered mine on the first day, and during when I ordered it, the thing said that it would ship in November. Okay. Not too long after that, the guys that were ordering were told it would ship first quarter.
Could you imagine that?
And another day or two later, the guys are being told it was going to ship second quarter. So yeah, I think and you know what? If it turns out to be what it is, I could probably buy it and sell it for $300-400 more than I paid for it, because I know there's going to be some guys that would want to get their hands on it. I don't have the heart to do that to somebody, but I think the opportunity would be there to capitalize on the fact that
Right.
so many of these people want it and they want it now.
Yeah.
And
They've done that when new video game consoles come out and things like that. I remember in the past they used to buy them and then resell them for more expensive.
Oh God, iPhones too. These people would stand in line for 3 days at the iPhone store and come out and hold it up, and somebody'd pay them twice what they paid for it right there on the spot.
You know what I found out, well, a few years back, that people buy really expensive used sneakers. That there's a market for that. There's like a whole following. Yeah. You can wear them once or twice and you can sell them $200 or $300 more than what you paid for easily.
Who knew?
Apparently there's a market for everything.
Well, Mitch, I'm going to have to say.
Yeah, I can always count on you to end my show for me, Art. That's why.
Good to see you, Carlos. And we'll see you over at the other guys.
All right. Well, one of the things, I'll be there watching, but I don't post in the chat on Ken's show. I mean,
okay, be that way.
You
grumpy old guy.
Well, that's because I'm sitting out on my porch smoking a cigar with my cell phone, and I'm not going to be typing on that tiny little.
Have you ever tried talk texting on your phone?
What's that?
Have you ever tried talk texting?
Good night. Folks.
Yeah, but
see you. Bye-bye.
5 minutes, Art. You're not going to miss anything. All right, Art. We'll let you go. You're excused.
Gotta mentally prepare, I guess. I don't know.
Art's gone. There he is. I've never seen anybody so in a hurry to get out of someplace.
Zoom.
Oh man. So at any rate, Dan stole half of my viewers with his live stream.
Yeah, I saw some of them go over there.
I'll be damned. Ah, well.
Talk texting, yes or no?
I have, but what happens with that is you're not careful. It types something that you really didn't want to say. So you got to read it and edit, and half the time you got to go in and edit it. And that's
Right.
I hate texting. I hate texting anyway.
My fingers never hit the right letters.
Yeah.
Right.
Big fingers, tiny keyboard. I don't know. When I'm sitting at a computer, it's easy to go in the chat because you can hit that key.
Right.
You know that, don't you? When you want to type somebody's name.
No. How do you do that?
Oh, you don't know that. Okay. Go in your computer.
Yeah, I'm
Type-
using the computer for.
Type hi.
I can't. I'm using my computer for the stream. So
Oh, when you're in the chat. Anyway, you type like if I wanted to say hi to Art,
Right.
I would say hi space
Right.
at, and I type 2 letters AR.
oh, and
and
it'll
And
follow.
pop up, say Artco. You hit the tab, or if there's more than one person with AR, you'll get a whole list of them.
Letter.
Then use the arrow keys, go up to the one you want, hit tab, and that puts it in the line and hit enter.
Ah,
So people with really long names, it's okay when you're on a computer, but when you got I don't know how to do that on a cell phone.
no, you can't. You
Yeah.
can't. It's not an option. I just give them the first name.
So you can on a computer in the chat room, you can really fill up your thing full of names real quick with the @ key. So hey, try it out. Try it out.
Okay, so just press @ space and then the first.
No, there can't be a space.
Okay,
Between
so
the @ and the first 2 letters. Yeah.
All right, I learned
Yeah.
something.
That's what Joshua Bardwell says. You're going to learn something today.
Take
Well,
a
listen,
about-
I think we're gonna shut it down here. It's 2 minutes to 8 o'clock, and I want to take a second.
I'm going
And,
to stay in the chat just to talk to you for 2 minutes.
oh, okay. Well, you hang in there. I'm gonna put you in the in the green room, and I'll come back to you after I'm off the air.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. All right, guys. Let me crank up some music here. All 8 people that are left, and thank everybody for coming in. Let's see who we got. Jim Wallace still here. Gary and Barry. Art's gone, and Gary and Jim, and Gary and Jim, and Barry and Gary and Jim, and Carlos and me, and Rojo Drones. I think that's about covers who's here. So, hey, thanks everybody for coming in, and as usual, the 2 hours flies by, and I enjoyed it, and always look forward to getting together with everybody on Thursday night like this. It's great, and those of you guys came in. Thank you for coming into the chat. Rick Halber, Steve Carpenter, 2 of the real gentlemen of the drone community. I'm honored that you came in here with me, and Carlos. Always good having you too. So with that, I'm going to say goodnight. Everybody should, you know what I say, take the rest of the day off, go play with your drones. And now I'm going to turn it over to my boy Spank over there and let him say goodnight. We'll see you next Thursday.